All right, welcome to this final installation of my tutorial series on creating a brochure in InDesign. And in this final series, we're going to take what we have done, which is mostly completed this, and just fill in the few gaps where there's some headings and some text under these speakers and some elements here on the side. Again, this original brochure was created in Pages, and we're using this as an opportunity to learn how to use InDesign. And in our first set, we took on the most complicated challenge, which is using this picture and wrapping the picture around this ribbon element. Then we talked about just the general layout of the various graphical elements. Then we've populated some of the text, and now we're just going to put the finishing touches on this. So we'll do this fairly quickly. We'll start, I know we need some heading there, so I'm just going to copy with Command C and Command V this text box, since the heading is essentially the same size. And I like to copy and paste wherever I can. It just makes things shorter. And we'll copy our date here. Oops. Undo that. Don't mean to duplicate that box. And now we need to put some speaker information here. And I can tell just by eyeballing this that we're going to need a little bit more space in between the speaker pictures and the bottom here. So what we're probably going to do is push everything up a little bit. But let's just go ahead and get some text boxes in here and see what we have to work with before we do that. So again, I'll use my smart guides to put a box that matches up with the speaker. And I'm going to take this box and copy and paste it. So now we've got another one right here. Looks like I have a couple from when I was practicing. That's not the right size, so we'll copy and paste this. Copy, paste. Now we've got these 4 boxes. I'm just going to highlight all 4 of them, and I'm going to set our characters to, let's see, what are we using here? Museo Sans condensed. So we'll set those at Museo Sans condensed, and I might drop that down to 10 points. And let's see, what is our weight here? This looks like we're using multiple different weights. So, excuse me. So now probably the easiest thing to do is to go in and just copy this text, and now we'll highlight the entire box. We can come use our paragraph menu selection and center this text. You can see we have some that is lowercase and some that is uppercase, and this little red box here means that there's additional text that we're going to need to figure out what to do with. So even at 10 points, that's not going to be a 10-point font. That's not going to be enough to fill that up. All right, so now we're going to start tweaking the brochure layout a little bit, and I can go ahead and see that I can do some work with this font here and probably shrink that up a little bit, and then generally move some of these elements up. So we'll just start by taking these 7 or so lines of text, and I think we'll try the Museo Sans condensed font. If I can find it here right in front of me. All right, that shrinks this up just a little bit. I see that we have a couple of errors right there, and we have a hyphenation, and I don't really care for that, so I'm going to go to paragraphs and unclick hyphenate. So with that, that gives us an extra little mark right there, but we'll see if that's enough to make the difference. So we'll shrink that up, move our header right up a little bit. Perhaps we'll keep that right there. Then we can move all of our pictures. And if I scroll in, that always helps. Okay, there again I have them with the same distance. And let's see what we can do here. We still don't have it quite where it needs to be. So that means that I can just move this up a little bit more. And I'll space this out so that's equidistance between those. Move that up. Move that up just a little bit more, which means I'm going to want to modify that and that block so that they're in line. Continue to push these guys up. And see if that gives us additional space. So let's just look at, okay, they are the same distance. That is the same distance. And so we'll want to move all of our text boxes up here. And if I look at the brochure, they all have, the max has 3 lines. So we'll copy that here. I think that's right, yep. And then I can just highlight all of the boxes and apply the centering. I can actually do it here, and I have to have my text tool for it to show up here. So I just apply the center, align center right here. All of these should be a 10-point font, so let's just double check that. And I believe that all of our text is red, so we will highlight our boxes, go to our fill, select text, select our red, and it looks like it might just be a little heavier weighting. I just accidentally moved that, so I hit Control Command X, excuse me, to undo. And let's see about using a 300 weight. That looks a little bit better. Now I think we have some text down here at the bottom. So we've got I'm going to put a text box, and I'm going to put it all the way across the bottom so that I can center it. And we will use our same font, Museo Sans Condensed. And let me highlight, oops, all of that and just copy it over. Center the entire paragraph. And I believe it's red also, yes. So I can either highlight the box or I can actually highlight the text itself. And if I highlight the text itself, go ahead and selects the T. Now, this is going to be a print document, so I don't really need to do a hyperlink, but I can do a hyperlink here in case we want to send this out through a PDF through email. So to create a hyperlink, I'm going to select that. I'm going to come over here and hit my Links tab. No, I'm not. I'm going to come up here and hit my Hyperlinks tab. And here's where I'm going to put my URL. And now that is a live hyperlink. And I will double click my bounding box for my text and pull it down so that it is right in the middle, and I'll look for my guides, my smart guides. They're not showing up for me. Maybe if I scroll in a little bit. Oops. Not sure what my smart guides are, but I will just eyeball it so that I think it looks good. And what weight do we have? We have that's 100 weight. I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to bump that up to a 300 weight because I think that will look a little bit better. All right, so we're mostly there. We're still missing a logo and some elements here on the left, excuse me, the right, my other right. And now, in this case, I can put my text actually inside this box and then space it out. So we'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to type invitation only. Invitation only. So now I'm going to select all this text. I want to change that to white. I want to change my font to Museo Sans, and then it's probably the boldest weight. Now let's bump that up to about 24, and let's look at what we've got here. Yep. And we will center this. Okay, so now that I've got it large, I want to center it horizontally also. So in order to do that, I've got my object clicked, and I'm going to come up here to my object text frame options. I'm going to click there, and on my vertical justification, I've got a number of different things I can do here, but on my vertical justification, I can put that to center, and so that will center the text that's actually in the object. The other way, of course, to do this is to just create another text box, put text in it, and then drag it on top of the box. That's fine to do also, but this is just puts it all in one. So what else do we have left? Okay, we've got another header that says more topics, and then some bulleted text here. So let's copy this, and I know we have that in all caps, and it looks like a little bit different size. Just for consistency, I'm going to keep it lowercase here, so that way all of our subheadings underneath this are all consistent, the same size and weight and style. So with that, I'm also going to center that, and I'll double click that so that it wraps my text right around that. And then I will create another text box right up underneath this. My mouse doesn't want to cooperate with me. Okay, so now I'm just going to come back over to here. Normally I would just be typing all of this, but I'll copy it since we have it made, and I'm showing you how to do this in a different program. So now I need to change my font so that it's consistent with the rest of the body text, and we'll use our Museo Sans condensed. Now we want to make it bulleted, and so the way to do that is to do our type tool, And then we've got an option for bulleted and numbered lists here, so we can apply bullets. And let's see, we've got that's in red. So again, we'll select that, select our text, make that red. And again, we have that 100 weight. We could probably do that at a 300 weight. We have another situation where we got a hyphenation here, and so the way to get rid of that is to go to our paragraph menu and unclick hyphenate, but I have to click the box first. And I think that gets that's getting pretty close. Maybe we maybe for this we'll keep it in the same font family, but go with just the standard Museo Sans. And I think that 12 points is fine. We stretch that down and give that some spacing right there. So there we have the vast majority of our brochure created in InDesign. The only thing that we lack is the logo, which I can get by just pulling my Finder window up, and here I have a logo. I can either place that using my file menu, or I can just drag my logo right over here. And you see, if I have the little round arrows or the little round parentheses, it's going to drag it into that frame and replace the picture. I don't want to do that. I'm going to hit Control or Command Z to undo, and I want to drag it right off of the picture in the frame, and so I have that little 3 document symbol, and I'll let go. And what this will do is allow me to drag the logo to the appropriate size that I want it and place it there. Now it's a little too big, so I'll use my selection tool, and I'll hold my shift down and just resize that up. And if I don't hold my shift and my command down to resize, all I'm doing is resizing the box. So to fix that, I can just click on the picture and find this fitting option, and I want to fill the frame proportionally. If I hold down my shift and command and then click it for a second, then it lets me actually move it visually, and my mouse just is not cooperating. So there we go. So I can modify the size and scope of the logo right there. Let's see how that matches up. I'll probably have it a little bit bigger than in the original brochure, but it doesn't matter that much. Looks like I'm using a different logo too, but that's okay. We can go back and change it. The important point is that you know how to do it. So there we have it. There's the brochure recreated in InDesign.